we have a breaking news trade by the Seahawks. Ernest Jones from the Titans is headed to Seattle for Jerome Baker and a 4th-round pick. Now, my first initial reaction, I think a lot of people might have the same reaction, is that might be a pretty hefty price to pay, right? A linebacker swap, but sending them a 4th-round pick. And the answer is yes. I mean, I don't think we usually see, a simple swap like this while somebody else is giving up a 4th-round pick for linebackers that were probably near the same level in most seasons. Ernest Jones, we'll get to this. Last year in 2023 with the Rams was phenomenal. And I think he's an upgrade from Jerome Baker, but it still seems like it might be a little bit of a bigger price to pay. The Rams actually sent Ernest Jones to the Titans and got a lot less for him. The Titans traded a 5th-round pick in the draft for Ernest Jones and a conditional 6th-round pick in the 2026. No, in exchange for Jones and a 6th-round pick. So the Titans literally sent a 5th-round pick and got back Jones and a 6th-round pick in the offseason. And now the Seahawks are giving up a 4th-round pick and Jerome Baker for him. So they really flipped this trade with really high value back to a division rival. So Rams fans are not going to be happy about this one. I mean, literally they got a 5th-round pick in the 2026 draft for him, and they gave up a 6th round. And now the Titans got a 4th round and a linebacker, and the Seahawks end up with Ernest Jones. And it seems like, based on Twitter interactions, based on reading replies, it seems like Rams fans actually really liked him, and his numbers were phenomenal with them last year. I mean, he was really good. The PFF numbers show it. There's a lot of people are talking about it. He's 25 years old right now, prime of his career. He's athletic. He's a ball-hawking, linebacker that Mike McDonald is going to enjoy having, I think, a lot more than Jerome Baker. He has the 7th most tackles for loss among linebackers this season. And currently, if we look at some PFF grades, he'd be the 2nd best graded linebacker on our team. Obviously, right now, Terrell Dotson's at a 68.1. Ernest Jones is at a 62.5. So he'd be ahead of Drake Thomas, Patrick O'Connell, Therese Knight. Ezekiel Turner didn't play yet. So he would be the 2nd highest graded linebacker on the team right now. But if you base it off last year, if you look at those stats, it's unbelievable. He's only had one bad game technically this year, it looks like, based on his PFF stats. But last year, he had an 82.1 grade on defense, a 90 grade on rush defense, an 80.5 tackling grade, a 78.2 pass rush grade, and a 62.5 coverage grade. That's like elite level type of PFF grading, especially that 90 and the 82 in the overall grade. You have to remember, why would the Seahawks probably make this move? That run defense grade. At the end of the day, we've been okay in the past. We haven't been phenomenal at anything technically, but the Seahawks' main problem on defense has been stopping the run. To get a linebacker whose best grade, even this year, his highest grade out of all grades, is in run defense, that's a big deal for the Seahawks. They need help on that side of the ball. Let's look at what happened today for the Seattle Seahawks, right? And it's a big deal to me, at least. One, they got Ernest Jones, right? So one of the biggest problems they've had is run defense. Last week, they got Roy Robertson Harris, which was, a good move to fix one of the biggest problems they have. And then now they go get Ernest Jones, whose best ability, the best asset out of him is that he's good in run defense. So they're trying to fix that side of the ball. And then on top of that, we got some positive news on the offensive side of the ball, on the offensive line, that George Fant and Abraham Lucas are both returning back to practice. So some things, outside of maybe DK Metcalf getting hurt recently, but knowing DK and the robot that he is, he's going to be back in like a week or two with that knee injury. It's an MCL sprain. Most people take 2 to 3 weeks. He might take 1. You never know with him. A lot of things are trending the right way. Our worst thing about our team, run defense. Let's fix it up. We're going to pick up Ernest Jones. We're going to pick up Roy Robertson Harris. We got back Byron Murphy last week. A couple more weeks, maybe Uchenna Nwasu will be back after that 4-week IR stint. things will shape up there. It'll look a lot better. And you got to remember, we've been out. Tariq Woolen's been out, and we've had Boye Mafe miss games. There's been so much chaos on the defense. But now, as people get healthier and you pick up Ernest Jones and Roy Robertson Harris, you really fix that side. On the offensive side, the biggest concern was the offensive line, and you're going to pick back up hopefully George Fant and Abraham Lucas soon. If you have that with Laken Tomlinson, Charles Cross, and Connor Williams, and you can put at right tackle Abraham Lucas and put at right guard George Fant, you're talking about a really good team. I mean, you're talking about one of the best teams, one of the best offensive lines that we've seen as Seahawks fans in a long time. Now, that's not saying much because we haven't seen a great offensive line in a while, but that would be very solid, especially considering if they're all healthy. But those are all what ifs, right? If people are healthy and whatnot. At the end of the day, this was all done, though, because I think the Seahawks are realizing where they've made their biggest mistakes, where they've made their biggest, mistakes maybe in the offseason, like not the right linebackers, maybe not the perfect defensive line that we thought it was going to be, and they've started to fix it. And I think this is a trade that is indicative of that they're saying, hey, run defense is not good enough. We haven't done good enough things there. Let's fix it and let's get it done. So they go, get Ernest Jones. He was really, really good, like I said last year. Let's not forget that. Like, he was unbelievable last year. It's going to be exciting to see, and I think it's a big added bonus that they played the Bills last week. So he's literally a week ahead in game planning. We have 2 games left against the Rams, who he played for last year. Giving up the 4th, like I said, is not great. That's not what you want to see, but if he plays well and he ends up, being good or being a long-term solution like they're probably planning on it. Corbin Smith already reported that they plan that it could be potentially a long-term fit, and he's only 25. Then it'll be worth it. I just think it's crazy that they got a 4th-round pick when they literally gave up a 2026 5th. What they got back for him at the end was a 2025 4th, a 2026 6th, and Jerome Baker. So they did a really good job flipping it all together. Overall, the other things that I'm seeing is Ernest Jones is probably better in pass coverage, as well as the run defense, which would be great. But all this is just going to depend on how they play once they get to where they go. I don't know. Ernest Jones, like I said, last year played phenomenal with the Rams. He's had an okay season. I don't even want to say okay. He's had a good season with the Titans. Not been phenomenal, but the whole defense as a whole hasn't been phenomenal. I mean, they're giving up, right? They traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs just an hour ago. So they've absolutely kind of given up on the season. They're 1-6, I think, and they're ready to end things here. So let's see how it all works out. I'm excited to see it go down. And I think I'm excited to see kind of a change at linebacker. You could look back. I don't know what would have been a better choice for us. Jordan Brooks has not been phenomenal, but I don't know if it'd been better if we kept Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks, or if we had this Terrell Dotson, Jerome Baker type of situation. But either way, they're trying to fix it and make it better than what it is. I thought Jerome Baker was going to be all right. He just didn't pan out, and he seemed very disinterested, and that's unfortunate. But sounds like we're getting a good leader with Ernest Jones, someone that plays good in the run defense and is pretty decent in pass coverage. And like I said, one of the biggest benefits to me, outside of just the run defense, is the fact that he played the Bills last week. So he's already like a week ahead in game planning. He was on the Rams last year, right? He was on the Rams last year, and this year he is playing the Rams twice with the Seahawks. So some good scouting, some good, whatever it may be, a good ability to find a way to use him against teams that we want to use him against. Let's keep our fingers crossed that this works out. We do need to fix that run defense and fix a few things. So let's keep our fingers crossed. And thankfully, like I said, we also have those offensive linemen coming back. So things are looking up. I appreciate y'all. Peace.